But, you know, it's just, you know, like, that's the thing about these kind of mid-range decks, of course, is there's just, like, a million reasonable ways to build it, and very often no, like, definitively clear best way to build it. Magus with a 5-pack. If you got a gifted sip from Magus, make sure to thank them. Anything you want to say, Magus, you can. A lot of gifted subs today. It's been pretty cool. Grazer, Colossus, Titan. Probably just taking the 2 payoffs, huh? Yeah, losing the moon effects for like this matchup specifically is like I think the biggest trade-off between this and the Rakdos version. I wonder if it's ever correct to, in these kind of spots, Fury your own Grief and then Undying Malice it to get the extra discard effect. It's probably right, like a very small percentage of the time. Okay, so the draw for turn was Cavern of Souls. They can make an Urza Saga token if they want to. We're definitely just going to go Ledger Shredder Bauble, though. What about Fiddlebender and Modern right now? I haven't played the deck in a long time. I've been like interested in some other artifact-focused decks. It's, you know, always going to be near and dear to my heart, though. Okay, another Grazer on top, so we should be somewhat safe from dying this next turn, huh? Lots of Lantern Control. Lantern Control is garbage, I think. Sorry. Sorry if that's your pet deck. I don't know. It's just like the printing of Prismatic Ending specifically. Specifically Prismatic Ending was just like such a tough card to exist. And there's like a lot more Planeswalkers now. Rin and 6 is a big problem. Teferi Time Raveler is a big problem. Beseiju is a big problem. It's just like there's, oh man, Lantern just has so many problems. It's hard to imagine Lantern ever returning to its former glory. Do I have a list of archetypes I feel like I have more work to do on, or is that closely guarded secret? I mean, I don't like to... I like to keep some of the cards close to my chest, I would say. Closely guarded secret's an exaggeration, though. Plus Enchantress. I think Enchantress is really good. Alright, definitely happy to draw a red card here. I think we're just gonna kill those constructs. Get a big threat into play. These Grazers are definitely gonna be able to buy them a lot of time. Although Drowned Luck is a pretty good pickup. Is it better to kill a Grazer now? So that's another card in the yard for the Drown. I think that might actually be the case. Because we put another card in the yard with the map, but then we're only one away from being able to drown a Titan. I've looked at spoiled set. No, it's not really. No, I haven't. Like, I got sent them by a couple people, and I kind of meant to look at them, but I'm just like not in a rush, you know. I will have plenty of time to look at the cards as they come. Just not in a rush. And it's also drowning the Titan versus Cavern. Yeah, you get to kill the Titan. You get to remove it. You get to destroy it. The Cavern's also naming beast, but you can destroy it. I was like, but it's been pretty good. We're 4-1 into 3-2, but like both like I think one of the matches we got incredibly badly mana flooded. One of the matches we punted pretty badly, could have played better. But this is just like the dynamic of, you know, playtesting. Like when that's what's going on, when you're losing to like punts and mana flood, like that's really good. It's really good because you can play better. You'll still lose to mana flood sometimes, but if you're winning the rest of the time, this means I think you're on the right track. If that makes sense. And now they have 6 cards in the yard. Miss lethal but not killing Grazer. Maybe I did there. Maybe I did, huh? Although holding up the drown makes it also very hard to lose here, right? Looks like I did miss lethal. Okay, so we'll bring in 2 Alpine Moons, 2 Voidwalker, 3 Thoughtseize, 3 Terminate, 2 Dress Down. A lot of cards coming in, huh? I think I'll go down to 1 or 2 Furies. I think we cut the Shredders also. Okay, at least 1 Kroxa is fine. Can trim a couple Undying effects. On the draw, cutting a couple Ragavans is, or cutting 1 Ragavan is fine. And maybe I can go down on Bauble. It's probably hard to cut. I can cut 1 Bauble with no Shredders. How are we gonna kill them if we take all our threats? We boarded in Voidwalker. We still have Channeler, Ragavan, Grief, Kroxa, Voidwalker. We're gonna kill them. And you know what's nice about Amulet Titan is they don't play almost any removal, so you don't need that many threats. Our push is good. Yeah, I think I usually like up to 3 fatal pushes against Amulet Titan. I usually like push a bit more than Fury because you can kill Dryad at instant speed. Have we played against Murktide? Yeah. I think we're 3-1 against it, and that one loss was the we drew 15 out of our 18 lands very early. It was crazy. But the matchup has definitely felt fine. So 1 push for 1 for, yeah, you could do that. That would be fine if you are worried about the number of threats. But I usually historically again like copies 1 through 3 of push against Titan, but this deck is unique. They could want a different dynamic. Rich, I feel like a mad matchup for black-red version. Yeah, I feel like what I like about this version is the presence of Expressive Iteration and Ledger Shredder. I feel like just lets you keep up with Murktide's top decks, if that makes sense. Which I feel like is probably the issue for the red-black version. So I think their top decks are better than yours. Okay, let's do that. Alright. You couldn't have had 1 more spell from the opponent. I'm still going to put the 3/2 menace in play, but this is fine. New 1-mana black removal spell, how viable isn't it? I think it's not going to be good in Standard or Pioneer. It misses almost everything in the formats that's relevant besides Ragavan. I think it misses almost everything else. If a Ledger Shredder connives in response to it, it doesn't kill it. It doesn't kill a Delirious Dragon Rage's Channeler. It doesn't kill a Fury. It doesn't kill a Grief, a Solitude. It doesn't kill an Omnath. It doesn't kill... I guess it kills most of Hammer Time's creatures, but not when they have a hammer on it. And then in Pioneer, it doesn't kill Greasefang. It doesn't kill Old Growth Troll. It doesn't kill Connive Ledger Shredder. It doesn't kill Thing in the Ice. I don't know. I think it just misses way too much. Here's also the thing about Pioneer is people should be way more comfortable playing 2-mana removal in Pioneer 2, Doomblade effects, and they don't play those that often. What can it kill that Fatal Push can't? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know that it can kill almost anything else. I think I'm gonna play this iteration. Try to fade a top deck. Although if they had a Titan, I guess I can still Grief, but yeah, their hand is Balanced Land Mystery card at the moment. If they had a Titan, they couldn't cast it this turn. So maybe we'll be okay to pitch this Grief here. Especially if that's the difference of Delirium and not. Wizard, the 12 months, thank you. Heisenberg with the 6 months, thank you as well. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and pitch the Voidwalker, then can hold up Terminate after this. Ooh, they did have something. Wizard 12 months, Heisenberg 6, thank you. Fatal Push just seems better now that you say it. I mean, Fatal Push is definitely better. I don't think that that's a conversation. But, like, this is, like, a conversation for, like, extra Fatal Push. But, I mean, you would just play, like, probably any number of Bloodchief's Thirst instead, too, if you wanted another 1-mana removal spell in Pioneer. Although instant speed is nice. Heartless Act is good in Pioneer. I actually, like, I thought it was... I think I was liking Doomblade, but... I think Greasehanger became more popular. Heartless Act not killing Shredder is tough. Shredder or Thing in the Ice. Okay, thought for sure they'd top deck a Titan, but first time for everything. Okay, seems totally fine here to terminate the Grazers. They can't jump block, and we can just have a 2-turn clock. Nice. Feels good to beat Titan because like this is like one of the main matchups. I think you lose equity when you compare this version to the red-black mid-range version because that deck gets to play a lot of Blood Moon effects. Doomblade. But it's on a Molda 6. Yeah, if you're not a control deck, then Power Word Kills may be better, I agree. Okay, Plains Go is very likely Hammer. We have Fury, which is nice. I think Blue Red Delvers, Lost Ground, and Pioneers thing is still viable. I would imagine it's somewhat viable. I haven't played almost any Pioneer for like the last 2 months. I've played it like 2 or 3 times. And I just like haven't picked up the Delver deck. But since the last time I played it, I had like, you know, multiple 5-0s, I think. I remember it going really well. I have a hard time imagining like things have changed a ton. How does this deck handle control decks well? I mean, this deck probably has its worst matchups are probably 4-color Omnath. Blue-White Control is probably fine. But Blue-White Control in Pioneer has really like lost a lot of popularity. Not that it can't come back, but it's like right now Blue-White Control is not a deck I'm really like worried that much about. Sentinel is interesting. So I really, what I want to do this turn is I want to go Kroxa and Malakir Rebirth my Kroxa. And this will get my opponent down to 1 card in their hand. And what's nice about getting my opponent down to 1 card in hand on this board is that with them playing out the Colossus Hammer, it's very, very likely that they have a Pure Steel Paladin in their hand. They have 3 cards in their hand at the moment, and if I get them down to 1, they can't keep White Source Pure Steel Paladin in their hand. However, maybe it just makes more sense to Fury the Ornithopter. And then I guess they have to have White Source Paladin and another artifact. So maybe I play the Sentinel instead. We'll see what they discard here. But because they have to have all of those things, I think that it does make a lot of sense to me this turn to pressure their hand. I said donation for deck tech. Okay, did you post the link in the chat? Yeah, can you post it in the chat? We can get that going. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Yeah, I can't copy from the donation window. Esper Mentor. Okay. So the last time I played this deck, I was playing Thoughtseize over Thoughtscour and liking it somewhat. And then I see a lot of people doing this, cutting the Snapcaster Mages for Murktide Regents, and I think that is. Oh, they didn't have Paladin in their hand? Okay, so if I attack, they block with Midnight. If I Fury kill both of these. Yeah, I think that's fine. Try to Fury kill both of these, and then I can attack with Ragavan. If they trade, I escape Kroxa. If they don't trade, I escape Kroxa. They're probably going to trade though, which is fine. I'll escape the Kroxa next turn. Yeah. So like playing Murktide over Snapcaster is fine. I think it's a big problem though to play 4 main deck copies of Unearth in a deck that only has 8 Unearth targets. And like losing those like Snapcaster Unearth chains does lose you a lot of equity in the deck. It loses you a lot of value. And I'm not sure that this is better than playing Snapcaster. It's also true, like, when you're playing 4 Monastery Mentor, you have an over-the-top high mana value threat, like Murktide Regent, and then playing more copies makes your curve a lot higher. But again, my general, like, people have sent me this a lot, Murktide Regent over Snapcaster in the Mentor deck. I think it's fine. Murktide's obviously a really good card. These are the issues I have with it, but I think it's fine, and I recommend just like doing some playtesting, and try to come to the conclusion yourself, like whether you think this is better than Snapcaster or not. My gut says Snapcaster is still better, but I understand the reasoning. The sideboard looks pretty good. Let me see. Let me just open up my last version and see if I had any technology. I was making a couple of Teferis, obviously, like, yeah, you probably want sub number of Teferis in the sideboard. Oh, also, I've always really liked the Fulminators with the Unearths. It's kind of hard for me to cut those, but, I mean, this is, like, also a fine way to build the sideboard. I like the Lingering Souls if Murktide's really popular. Murktide is, I think, probably popular enough to still be playing those cards, but also, like, probably optional. Oh, they're not going to need to make another Saga token. I don't know. I would probably recommend this sideboard or something close to it. Murderous Cut as a way to answer Murktide Regent on the other side are pretty nice, although I guess if you're playing your own Murktides, you don't want those Delve cards. Okay, I think I'm leaving creature instant in the yard. Oh, I can't do both, so just instant. I would play Nile Spellbomb over Soulguide Lantern. I guess maybe Living End will bring in Leyline against you, but if you're just wanting this for Living End, I would play like more counter spells anyways over the Graveyard Hape. So a lot of loose thoughts. The Mentor deck's like really, you know, there's a lot of nuance. I would. This is the list I'd recommend to you. You were free to try out the Murktide version, though. You can take a screenshot. Oh, was I a card short of escaping Kroxa last turn? I thought I had an extra fetch land, but... Or I thought I had the card with the fetch land, maybe not. So I get a new card for turn. They get a Springleaf Drum. They drew another... Their draw for turn was another copy of Urza Saga, which is actually a big pain. And it's kind of interesting if they choose to attack here or not. I think they have to attack. I think I'm not going to block, but I do think they have to attack. Each draw a Fatal Push. Or Drown. Or Watery Grave. Also hope that they can't make a Saga token this turn. So any 0-mana artifact, creature, or land will let them. So we need to fade those outs. I've tried Lingering Souls and 2/2 Murktide as 4-stat main. I like Fulminator, sorry, but though, thanks again. Awesome. Yeah, again, without me playing Murktide, I just don't know if it's like the best way to go, but I agree that a split is somewhat reasonable, of course. Okay. Yeah. We just like, if we can draw a removal spell this turn, we're gonna win. If we don't, we're gonna lose. Any specific thing I do to cope with losing streaks, losing faith in deck? I usually just like scream at my Twitch chat and get like really personal and mean. Besides that, I don't know. Like, with losing streaks, you just have to identify when you're losing. You know, if I'm getting... You know, sometimes, like, run bad is, like, pretty objectively clear. Sometimes it's a bit more nuanced if you're running bad or playing bad. But, you know, at least for me, like, I've lost enough, like, really high-stakes matches, matches for thousands of dollars, matches for really important Pro Tour invites that mean a lot to me, and I'm just, like, okay losing, I guess. Kyle, the 12 months they could take you, and then Dalton to 39. I think you should mana weave so you get mana screwed again. A good suggestion. Thank you, Dalton. Excited to play D&D this week. Kyle, 11 months again. Thank you. Yeah, but the best way to deal with losing streaks, I think, is to just lose a lot. Just lose a lot, and then you'll just be numb. You won't feel anything. Why theory do you see one Rag? I think you win at least the first copy of Ragavan in this matchup. At least on the play. I mean, the reality is, like, this is my first time playing this matchup, and this is, like, my, like, safe sideboard strategy. You might be interested in the play and playing, like, 4 Ragavan, no DRC. You might be interested in pulling out some more Undying cards. You might be interested in cutting some number of Grief, although I've started to, like, really prioritize Grief in this matchup for Sanctifier and Vec, because nobody seems to be cutting Sanctifier from sideboards, despite it being, like, the worst card in the Hammer Time 75. We're just figuring it out. Okay, let's keep this. Sanctifier is pretty solid against Murktide. That's the thing, though. Sanctifier got so much worse against Murktide once Ledger Shredder was printed. It's like, in my opinion, Sanctifier is worse than Forged Tinder against Murktide. If you play more Forged Tinders in your Hammer Time sideboard, you're way more resilient to Fury. You're way more resilient to Burn, which in my mind is more of a priority than incidental splash damage against, like, Rakdos Scam, incidental splash damage against like Grixis Shadow, which is, like, super uncommon, and playing like the full 4 Forged Tinders and not playing Sanctifier, I think makes a lot of sense to me if I was building a Hammer Time sideboard right now. Again, that's just my current take on the construction of the deck, I guess. Yeah, and again, Hammer Time, it's exactly, Hammer Time already has a good Murktide matchup. It's already, like, your best matchup. Or one of your best matchups. They cast Steel Shaper's Gift. 1 mana, tutor up a equipment. They tutored up a Colossus Hammer. Love that they're playing the Saga when I have the Alpine Moon also. Would not love it if they show me a Cauldron and I don't draw a land or removal spell. Or Grief. Yeah, a lot of really good draws this turn. Land, removal spell, Grief, Fury. I guess not Fury so much. Struggling against Merc with Mono Black Coffers. Any quick advice? Try to play the full 4 Bloodchief's Thirst. I've been really liking that card a lot. They get Paradise Mantle. Unfortunately, don't cast it to trigger Kanai for me. I don't think this version plays Cauldron. What is it about my opponent's version that signals no Cauldron? Is it the Steel Shaper's Gift? It's also possible that they cited it out. I think you do that a lot against Grixis decks. It's Crusher Bots, yeah. So I guess just like Steel Shaper's Gift means, and Nettle Cyst means no Cauldron. Because I think Cauldron should be in every Hammer Time main deck. Maybe they cite it out, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll probably have another Saga in their hand if they're just passing here. Cauldron's really bad, but it's not incredibly free. What I really like about Cauldron Hammer Time is it turns Stoneforge Mystic into a dopey 1/2 that you can ignore into a must-kill creature. where like usually against Hammer Time you could just ignore their Stoneforge Mystic, wait to kill whatever creature they equip to, but the fact that you just all of a sudden have to kill this card that otherwise you could be ignoring, I think is a really big important dynamic. What is Greentron a good deck for beginners that want to get into Modern? Any deck that you think is cool and interesting is a good deck to get into for Modern. Any deck that you think is just neat. That is in my opinion the only requirement for a good deck to get in Modern. A deck that you think is cool. Okay, I'm gonna counter this. I really need this Shredder in play. I would not when you're getting Modern has a really big learning curve. There's a lot of complicated stuff that goes into learning a Modern deck for the first time. There's going to be a learning curve. You're going to make mistakes. I would try not to worry about those mistakes so much and hyper focus on them, and instead just enjoying your time in the format. Awesome moves. Yeah, a lot of people on Twitter have been playing the Aether Mage's Touch Reanimator, tagging me and saying they're doing well. So good luck to you. Okay, let me cut the last Ragavan on the draw, I think, for the 4th Channeler. I imagine this sideboard plan will develop somewhat over time. This has felt fine so far. It's great how Hammer Time could be... Wait, Hammer Time is seeing play in Legacy? That's really exciting. Do you get any, like, cool extra cards in Legacy that you don't get in Modern? Wasteland, maybe? Well, Wasteland's probably tough on the mana. Play Mox Opal? Mox Opal's pretty big. Swords, yeah. Jete. Oh, you get the white artifact land too, right? Okay, let's keep this. Then we'll put back Drown. We use Invasive Surgery at all, so how to go. We played against Creativity. It was good against Creativity. Or it was good to hold up against Creativity. It's mostly for that matchup. Mother Rooms versus Giver. Fair, fair, fair. That actually sounds really fun, though. Sounds really fun. Hammer of Nazahin. What is that card? That's actually really exciting. Maybe I'll build Hammer in Legacy. Whenever enters the battlefield in your control, may attach equipment to a creature +2/+0 destructible. That is a very mana intensive card, huh? I kind of want to just hold the Channeler as a red card, but we'll play it. We'll play it. Yeah, I think that one person this morning was maybe not trolling, but one person this morning for some reason asked if there was going to be a ban and restricted announcement today, and I don't think it's any deeper than it's just like something someone said this morning. I don't think we have any reason to believe there's going to be a BNR today. I feel like it'll be a weird day for one. Mr. Sari, 23 months. Missed top 32 on the LMS by 1 win. Good next time. Good luck to you. Thank you for the resub. Hopefully they're just in on Urza Saga tokens this turn, although it's definitely true that them just being able to put a hammer on this Ornithopter is going to be tough. We can't find removal. One spell. Let me connive. No conniving here. I guess if I draw a red card, we're in really good shape. Okay, that's a pretty good pickup too, actually. Do you think Karn Clan Ironworks Tron is better or worse? KCG. Karn the Great Creator Tron is better or worse than non-Creator. Dude, Karn the Great Creator is so good in these Tron decks. I don't know why Tron players want to cut them. It's just... I cannot imagine, I think, ever not playing Karn the Great Creator in a Tron variant. I feel like Karn is too slow in several matchups. I don't know what cards you're playing over Karn the Great Creator. You're playing Thragtusk over Karn the Great Creator, like you know what I mean? Because Karn can grab you an Ensnaring Bridge and stabilize you as hard as Thragtus can. So flexible, so, such a good card to just cast for 4 mana if your opponent has Tron Hate against you. People just overthink it too much, I think. Wolf, thank you for the 2-pack. If that's for a deck tech, you can post in the chat. And Ghost with the 11. Let's graveyard this. I think I'm just gonna take 10. It's gonna take 10. Black-white combo control. Okay. Warlock Class, Underworld Dreams, Peer into the Abyss. Interesting. Ooh, another Saga. Timeless Lotus. Okay, a lot to look at here. Okay, let's attack with both of these. I want to Fatal Push on my opponent's turn so that I can potentially trigger Connive if I also drown. 5 mana, Timeless Lotus enters the battlefield tapped. Tap for Wooburg. Wow. What a card, huh? Keeping that one. Okay, Gifted Aetherborn, Brutal Cathar, Murderous Rider, Edgar Charmgroom, Shieldred. Shieldred is probably actually pretty sick in Pioneer against there's a lot of card draw. And it doesn't die very much. But I will say that if you want to play Warlock Class, Underworld Dreams, Peer into the Abyss, you have to play Mono Black Devotion. You like that is the only shell it fits into. Like the only reason like Underworld Dreams, like, giving you all that devotion is like a huge part of the reason why like you would consider this card to be like a playable option in the first place. This is not a strategy that I think is going to shine outside of exactly Mono Black Devotion. Mono Black Devotion splashing white for Vanishing Verse is potentially an interesting idea. Vanishing Verse is really nice, but I don't think that you can really... I guess this is fine. Oh, it's not fine, is it? Because I don't have a second blue source here. I guess I just have to hand this bottom, exile, hold up the Terminate. Yeah, but again, like you can be mono black with the Underworld Dreams combo. You can be black white mid range with these cards. You can't be both. You can't. You have to pick a lane. And I think the mono black devotion deck with Peer to the Abyss, Warlock Class, Underworld Dreams. Very interesting. Shieldred does seem like an upgrade for it. And then I also feel like cutting, like, Gifted Aetherborn, Brutal Cathar to, like, I don't know, like, just cutting those and being more all in on the combo, playing 4 Nykthos. Seems kind of easy to me. 4th Fatal Push. One card that I always liked in these decks, though, is Wishclaw Talisman, where it can find you Nykthos, can find you your Peer into the Abyss. You have to play less copies of these cards. Again, splashing white for Vanishing Verse might be correct, but I think you're a little... You just gotta pick a lane. That Lotus is crazy amount of green. If you don't have Nykthos, you could just Karn for it and then Chain Veil. Yeah, probably. Seems good. Yeah, finally Teferi Slows the Sunset is good enough, huh? Yeah, we saw Karn Silex. This card is really cool. Definitely a somewhat modern playable card. Shadowspear is interesting selection here. I'm gonna terminate now so they can't go like land, blacksmith skill. Really wish I could have had that dressed down. Only having 1 blue mana is pretty tough this turn. So this will become 4/4. So this turn I could go potentially Bauble, Fury, kill this, trigger Connive, trigger Delirium. Yeah, probably good enough to keep. Founding third best, getting a ton of hype in the middle Discord. Yeah, that card is really interesting in Mill, in Reanimator, and potentially like as a new card to combine with See the Truth. Okay. We're doing fine here, I think. So let me look at their top card. If it's a Colossus Hammer, maybe we just like can't cast the Fury. Maybe we cast it and jump block with the Ledger Shredder or something. Ugh, Stoneforge Mystic is so tough. I think I still cast this. The construct is just so beefy, gonna be so hard to deal with. And because it's Stoneforge Mystic, they can't Stoneforge Mystic for Hammer and equip the Shadow Spear onto the Ornithopter. Also, new braids. I haven't seen the new braids yet. I don't know if it's officially spoiled yet. I heard that it was leaked. Aren't we dead? Nope. Dead to that. But as far as cards we knew about, I don't think we were dead. Are we dead to this? We can absorb 7 toughness. I guess blocking here going to 1 is also probably reasonable. Yeah, Shredder flies. Shredder can block. Yeah, I think this is fine. I need the three double striker in play. Also, if they move the hammer over to the paladin, the Ornithopter dies, which is nice. Still have that Stoneforge Mystic though. Okay, so I can go Evoke Fury, kill Paladin, attack. Drown the Ornithopter. I have to top deck an answer to Stoneforge. Alternatively, there's not really an alternative. Wait, I don't think that there's a better line. With them knowing they have Stoneforge in their hand, I don't think there's a better line than this. Because like this Paladin has to die this turn. I also get to attack for 6, which is not much against an opponent with 21 life, but something. And again, just draw another removal spell for Stoneforge Mystic and get outs. Legendary Boon, basic planes. Oh, yeah. I mean, that would be cool though. Yeah, it doesn't work that way though. So they're almost definitely grabbing a hammer. I would probably put it on the Mystic now to play around like Lightning Bolt or Fury. Oh, I guess it does still play around Fury. Yeah. Troll Step. Feign Death. I think it's 2 damage short of killing this. If we attack here. Because it was 6 plus 4, yeah. Okay. Tough stuff. Cool match, though. Cool match. Okay, up against Yorion. I feel like a lot of these cards are too safely designed. I feel like I'm liking the design of the new set. Against Yorion, I'm just like not expecting to need the Fatal Push on turn 1. Because they could Ragavan. We've got the new Read Ahead Snapcaster Saga. I think the card's awesome. I think it's very exciting for Mill and Reanimator, and potentially in combination with See the Truth. A card that I've always felt like is just like one card away from being like really nice. Love to get to discard Kroxa for value. Lightning Bolt on top. Shredder. Lightning Bolt immune. Ragavan not. But if they tap out for Wrenn and 6, I can just dash the Ragavan, kill the Wrenn and 6 if they don't have Solitude. Maybe you could evoke Grief. Let's see what our top card is. If it's like Malakir Rebirth, things get a bit more interesting. It's another copy of Ragavan. I'm not... I'm just going to shuffle. Okay, so discard this. Would definitely like to get a treasure. I think it makes more sense to just get that stupid Wrenn and 6 off the field. Oh, no, sorry, I tapped in a way I don't have black mana up. Okay. That's bad. You've been on hot streak was my favorite brew in the last 6 months with a lack of new cards. I don't know. I feel like my favorite is probably the Rakdos Sacrifice deck. I keep meaning to play more of it on stream, but doing other stuff. Okay, so I'm worried about my opponent having 2 removal spells here. So I think what I'm going to do is dash Ragavan, let it eat the Lightning Bolt, and then grief Feign Death post-combat. Yeah, I really like the Rakdos Sacrifice deck, mostly because I've just worked on so many versions post-MH2, and like I feel like I finally like solved it or got close. Modest, thank you for the raid. Hope you're having a good day. Appreciate you. Okay. They still have Lightning Bolts. I could have Fatal Pushed this, but I think it's just way better to pitch the Fatal Push to grief. If my opponent if they Ephemerate, I'll Fatal Push the Ice Fang. Also get a Connive. I'm going to escape Kroxa, so I think the Channeler is a little bit less valuable because I'm about to lose Delirium. So I have to take... They did have Ephemerate, they just... Why didn't they Ephemerate? I have to take the Bolt, otherwise they can break this up. Get to take stupid Omnath out of the hand, too. Oh, this is Jim's preview card. Awesome. 2 mana Goblin Lord. Plus other goblins +1/+1. Whenever it or another goblin you control dies, exile top card of your library. If it's a goblin creature bard, you may cast it at the end of turn. It seems good. Seems good, for sure. I like it. How good is the question, though? Yeah, until your next turn is really nice, for sure. We'll definitely try it. Always love goblins. Esther loves goblins too. Whenever we play D&D, she's like almost always a goblin. It is pretty weak against Red and 6 though. So Restoration Angel likely means that they're Vivian combo. But you know, can't kiki me here. Okay, so up a game against what is presumably the Vivian combo variant. What's nice about Voidwalker is it does kind of like passively break up that interaction. Furia, I also think is a little bit better against this version too, but I still may cut 1 copy, cut like 1 Malice, bring in 3 Voidwalker, 3 Thoughtseize. You can also play Dress Down, maybe like 1 Dress Down, 2 Thoughtseize, something like this. I have Drown. Maybe this is 1 too few answers for an Omnath. I have 2 Drown, 3 Fury. 1 Dress Down is like a pseudo answer. Kind of want 1 more. Maybe we'll just not play the Thoughtseize, play the 4th Fury, and I just get the Undying effect back in there. Not sure. That's what the Plane Chase 5e. I mean, I don't think I saw that. I don't know what that's about. Alright, we have Ledger Shredder and Bauble. Very close. I think I have to mulligan. Alright, pretty good hand. Alright. Oh, sorry. I would say that this looks like a pretty easy Ragavan, but it's not. Against Wrenn and 6 decks, if you have Ragavan and Channeler in your opening hand, you almost always just want to play a Channeler first. This way you can dash and kill a Wrenn and 6 on turn 2. Invasive Surgery is for Cascade decks and Creativity. Oh ho, there she comes. And my opponent's not casting Red and 6 against a turn 1 Channeler. I don't really know what that's about. Almost feels like they just skipped through their turn. I milled over my Blood Crypt, so I guess I just have to get my second Steam Vents. And I'm not going to attack into Ice Fang this turn. I guess if they have Prismatic Ending, good for them. Yeah, it looks a lot cleaner. I think it's too many Grave Merchants, though. Of course, 5 mana. Yeah, I'd be interested in like 2 Grave Merchants, 2 Cletus, or something like that in the main. Okay. Kroxa is so good. I think I should Iteration, but it's very tempting to just go Fury pitch Iteration, hit them with Ragavan, escape Kroxa next turn, cast the Kroxa. I think we just do this. Feels so weird to pitch Iteration here, though. Okay, we get a little bit of value. I guess I will Ephemerate my Kroxa, although I lose my treasure, which is like my plan to. My plan was to escape it next turn, but I can't resist. I just need to draw land. Discards Omnath, discards Lightning Bolt, 2 incredibly good cards. Probably has another Omnath. Yeah. Gross. No, I can't escape the Kroxa. Could maybe held this for a Fury, actually. We're dead now. I mean, if we escape Kroxa next turn, we're still playing this game. Especially because they cashed in their Teferi. Oh, dude, now I can actually draw Fury. No way! We're dead now, says our Twitch chat. Thanks, Teferi. This is the worst Teferi I've ever seen. This is the worst I've ever seen Teferi in a game of Modern. Could cast my own, though. I'm just gonna Kroxa, I think. This is the worst Teferi I've ever seen. Bouncing the red card back to my hand. So casting my own Teferi would be kind of decent, though. I think either line is fine. But like, they could just be dead next turn. They discarded another Omnath? You're kidding. That means they have the 4th Omnath. Right? 80 cards, by the way. There's no way they discard this over anything else. Maybe they have Prismatic Ending. Ella Domri's Call here? For Solitude. They have Solitude Ephemerate. Solitude Pitching Containment Priest. Okay. Well, the Fairy would have been pretty good against this. Kind of hard to predict. Let's main phase this. Because I have Fairy, obviously. Alright. Could draw another Fury. Dude, chat hates 4-color. as soon as it looks like you might lose to 4-color, the chat becomes so toxic. They're ephemerating the Solitude main phase? Why? For Revolt? It's pretty sick, actually. Alright, I'll go to the next game. Okay, game 3 on the play. That was a cool game. 4-color shouldn't be allowed. It goes against WotC's previous bans and ban statements. I, people should stop, I think, reading too much into like one or two sentences in these ban announcements. You know, like bans are super like nuanced, and there's a lot of like. There's a lot that goes into them. I really wish that they wouldn't be like Modern is a turn 4 format. Like this is like one sentence in the Splinter Twin ban announcement. Not obviously not what you were referring to specifically, but people like harp on it so much. Modern is a turn 4 format, and that's a line that probably like not that much thought was put into. You know. That being said, I feel like banning Omnath would be a good, fun thing. I would ban specifically the card Omnath if I could, and I would smile while banning it. Frost, the deck tech. Let's look at chat. I can take a look. Chat club. I've been saying that for a long time. I hate Omnath. I know. I think me and Doom are like two of the only players who are like, if you're gonna ban something for the 4-color deck, ban Omnath. Don't ban Rin. Don't ban Yorion. Omnath is the most frustrating card for me. Ooh. I think I'm graveyarding that. Let's see what my top card is. Mire, so I can just go tapped. I'll keep the Mire on top, I think. Yeah. You have other issues, but we'll save that for my triumph for stream return. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Is that today, Doom? Or are you feeling good enough to stream today, or are you still taking it easy? Let me iteration first. Maybe you can find an answer for an Ice Fang that looks like they have. I can also get Delirium, which I am. Hand, bottom, exile. Do you think Thoughtseize is underpowered in Grixis decks right now? Doesn't feel like most included more, most discard. It felt so bad lately. Any thoughts? I don't know about most discard. Grief's been pretty good. Thoughtseize is good. I like Thoughtseize. You can play it. It's, you know, when you say most Grixis decks, like what are we talking about? Because if Thoughtseize is an automatic 4 of in every Grixis Shadow variant until the end of time, you should not be playing any variant of Grixis Shadow without 4 Thoughtseize. In a deck like this that has Grief in the main deck, I don't think that you need to main deck Thoughtseize. You have Grief, and so we have some in the sideboard. They're not super mandatory. Maybe I've kept that Rebirth. I've got the Furies. I don't know. And beyond that, like, you know, if you think that Thoughtseize is going to save your goofy Grixis pile, it's always good to acknowledge that goofy Grixis piles are usually not that good. So when we say Grixis decks, I just don't know what we're talking about. Wanted it from YouTube to say, so I was drinking some wine. It was the best intro so far. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Gloom clipped that intentionally or just worked out really well, but it did work out really well, huh? Okay, so let's, I think, iteration. Trying to find that Malakir Rebirth that we lost. Although I'll keep a Bauble with this Channeler in play. And we can go hand, bottom, exile, surveil. Let me bring Goblins New Lord, of course. Finally gives us a good reason to return to Goblins. Our triumphant return after breaking the trophy record, huh? We're going to play my version of Rectoscam. I mean, this is it, right? This is Rectoscam Splashing Blue. I've also tried the Jund version. I've also played Rectoscam Sacrifice. But this is it. I hate you, Solitude Ephemerate. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. What did they pitch? Alzheimer's Call. This is fine. I'm not going to Fury this post-combat. I'll let them attack. They might play something else into my Fury. I might draw, you know... Yeah, Dying Effect. There we go. Yeah, they only have 3 cards in their hand. We're way ahead on cards, way ahead on mana. Gonna have a good turn next turn. Yorion in the hand, though. little bit less good. Not playing into the Fury. Just iteration here, I think. The mountain's pretty awkward here. I would love to have this drown. Yeah, I think I want to go hand, drown, bottom mountain, exile Bauble. Look at their top card. Prismatic Ending. Just pitch the Voidwalker, Grief, Undying Malice. They're drawing Prismatic Ending. I kind of want them to Risen Reef next turn, although if they draw a red card and can Fury afterwards, it's kind of awkward. So I guess I could just go... Yeah, let's just go actually take Fury, take Endurance. Oh, hold on. Well, no, if they evoke here, that's fine. I think I actually just want them to do that. Yeah, but I should have taken the Endurance first and not give them the option. But this is, I think, even just good for me. They just have nothing now. Just start card casting Furies. I know they're drawing Prismatic Ending. Probably was better to do it the other way though, for sure. Why is Fury at 3/3 with a Solitude and Grief for 3/2s? Yeah, that's 5 mana. Grief is 4 mana. Solitude has lifelink and flash. There's more text on the cards. Alright, so the hand is Prismatic Ending, Yorion Mystery card. Alright, we win. Okay, sorry, I had some texting to do. Let's keep this. Good hand. Weatherlight seems amazing in Bombardment decks. I think it'll be good in Anvil decks more than Bombardment with the artifact synergies. It's just like too slow in the Bombardment decks to win more. I think. We'll see, we'll see. Save the Bauble for turn 2 with the Shredder. Yeah, Karn Silex, we saw that card. That card's really good, I think. It does kind of seem like one of those cards, though, that... Like, you know that it's good. But, like, finding spots for it's going to be kind of weird. Like, maybe it's just like a, you know, Karn tutor target, but... I do like that card a lot. Could Urborg Lurgoyf be the missing piece for the green-black deck I was building? Maybe. Let's take another look. Or... Not this one. I'll see if I can dig it up. Hold on. The black-green Witch's Cottage Collected Company deck. Getting Blood Crypt, I think. I think I'd like to keep Expressive Iteration here. I think I would like to keep Expressive Iteration. Am I missing something Fiend Arson? It's got the same problem as Fiend Arson, only counting your graveyard. Yeah. It has 1 extra point of toughness. No, it has 1 less point of toughness. And... loses the activated ability, but gains the ability to mill yourself, which is a really big part of it. Yeah, I mostly just like Urborg Lurgoyf rather than necessarily think it's going to be great. I know they have counterspell, so I'm not going to just jam the iteration, of course. Yeah, enabling it itself is nice. We'll see, we'll see. Thank you, Frost. Yeah, sorry. I saw that you had gifted the subs. I didn't see the deck tech at first. Yeah, just yell at me. Okay, red, black, and Pioneer. I don't like Glorybringer in general in Pioneer. I don't think I like Rekindling Phoenix either. The 5-drops I like if you're gonna play any 5-drops are Invoke Despair and a 4-drop. I also think that Kalitas is just like, it's just the best card in red black, or it feels like a lot of time. 4 toughness is so hard to kill. It is a great way to fight through Old Growth Troll, Cavalier, Phoenix. Glorybringer just like gets brickwalled by Cavalier so hard too. I just really dislike Glorybringer. I don't think Rekindling Phoenix is very good. I would probably play the first main deck Unlicensed Hearse before I played any. Okay, so I think this turn I just want to make sure my opponent has to use their mana on the counterspell. I would play the first main deck Hearse, I think, before any copies of. Or I guess I could maybe play my land to play around Spell Pierce some. Counterspell holding up mana. Yeah, I would play one Hearse, one Trespasser, or sorry, not Trespasser, Tenacious Underdog a lot of the time. I'm not a huge fan of the Shatter Skull smashing. I see a lot of people playing the card, but you have so many utility lands already. I don't usually like it that much, but it's, you know, it's also like totally fine. Definitely not a terrible card to play. Yeah, if you're going to play 5-drops, if you feel like you're going to play 5-drops, again, Invoke Despair is better than Glorybringer. You need to play Kalitas in the main deck of red black. It's just the best. I would like to see like 2 Kalitas main one side, 2 Lifebane zombie side. I don't think that you need for like the mono red matchup, especially with all these Kalitases too. I don't usually like it that much. I think Witch's Vengeance is maybe a little narrow, unless like you're still seeing a lot of mono blue, but I haven't personally been seeing very much mono blue lately. I think these are my thoughts. Obviously, it's still like mostly just stock red black. As for the control matchup, the Ob, control is like, I think you're already pretty good against control as red black. Control is not that popular. It's not that common, and I don't think you need dedicated sideboard cards for it. And Ob is also like not that good. You know, just kill with Wandering Emperor. Okay, so we're on the draw against Murktide. I'm gonna bring in 3 Terminates, cut 2 Furies, 1 Undying card. This was how I sideboarded earlier. I think we're 3-1 against Murktide today, losing only 1 match to horrendous Mana Flood. I can't over mulligan the Grief Malice here. We're gonna play 1-2 Invoke Despair in the main. I think I would. I know that like Ginger usually doesn't, and obviously Ginger is like you know, grinding the deck for 23 hours a day. I would probably play something very close to what Ginger's playing. I know that he's main deck some at the time. I think Invoke Despair is really good. I played Invoke Despair in the main in the past and really liked it. I even like tried 4 for a little while and thought that was like a pretty interesting way to try to like beat the mirror matches. And with the mirror being really popular, I do think it makes some sense. What do you think about Twinferno? I don't know Twinferno. Is that a new card? Will Liliana make red black too good in Pioneer? No, I don't think so. It'll make it a little bit better, but red black is also like a really good deck to be like one of the best in the format. Like the matches against it are usually pretty fun and interesting, and I don't feel like the deck is too powerful. I don't think it will be too powerful with Liliana. I think Liliana will be another fine 3-mana option. Although one really interesting thing about Liliana though is that it makes copies of Kroxa way better. Where like now you have Liliana and Fable potentially to fuel your Kroxas, discard your Kroxas. So you may see more of those. Ooh, they hit Fatal Push and they can revolt it off the treasure token. Nuts with counterspell up. Let's see about Founding the Third Path. You think it's probably good with combining with Ledger Shredder? I mean, I think Founding the Third Path is a good card. I think Ledger Shredder is a good card, but you know, you have to make sure like you have to play a ton of instants and sorceries. Ledger Shredder is not an instance or sorcery. It's a card that also usually makes you want to play Bauble. So Obviously, there's some synergy there, but like figuring out if that's the best combination is going to be tricky. Okay, so my opponent has Counterspell, Mystery card. They're drawing Subtlety. Good one to know about. Oh yeah, the new Shieldred I think is going to be pretty good in Pioneer too. Got 5 toughness. Yeah, it's there, Iran. Okay, passing with the Counterspell up. Never drawing a land, I guess. Shoot. It's not. I have to graveyard a non-blue land. It feels so bad, but I need to be able to play a Shredder next turn. You should just use slow for Modern. Yeah, definitely. Matthew, 36 months. I'm having a good day. Appreciate you. Hope to see you soon. I just have to settle this in game 3. Exile another Blackcleave Cliffs. Wouldn't mind the Cliffs as much anymore because of the Terminate now, I guess. Shoot. Chilling. Yeah, the new 2-mana Goblin's pretty good. Figuring out how to fit it in the existing Goblins deck is gonna be pretty interesting. Oh, I think I opened this by accident. It's kind of funny. Yeah, fitting it in here is gonna be kind of tough. Is it just a one of Goblin Matron 2 to target? Do you play it over Mogg War Marshal? Probably not, because it's good with Mogg War Marshal. You could play it over some Mogg Fanatics, but then you're like way worse against Ragavan. You could also, like, you know, I don't think it's like too out of the question to play more than 60 cards in your Goblin deck. Like Goblins, like having access to so many tutors is definitely a deck that could just play 62 cards. I'm probably not going to recommend that, but it is just something to like briefly think about. You know what I mean? Yeah, Yorion Goblins. Maybe, I don't know. Probably not, but like 61 in Goblins is like maybe totally reasonable. We just have so much tutors. Okay, I'm gonna play for game 3. Lot to think about. Yeah, definitely a lot of like interesting stuff from Modern and Pioneer from the new set so far. Don't have the full thing out yet, though. Rebirth and Karn Silex. That card's good, but it's like very hard to figure out where it goes. I like it though. I like cards like that, like Karn Silex, like very powerful cards, lots of text, lots of power. Good with Karn the Great Creator as a tutor target that you can recur because it exiles itself. But again, definitely one of those cards that doesn't have like a super obvious home outside of like Tron. I'll keep it Ragavan. It was a really good day for spoilers. Huh. Subtlety of My Grief. Sure. I'll, bottom. Huh. I think it's the first time that's ever happened to me. Ringleader, you played over Ringleader? That's kind of interesting. You definitely want at least one Ringleader to Matron for, though, but it's interesting. Yeah, we'll just put a double striking 4/4 to play. Pretty good against a deck that can't kill it with Heat or Bolt right now. Is this what Modern's become? No. This is the... I've been playing... No, it definitely hasn't. This is the first time it's happened to me after playing Modern for like 60 hours... Or not 60 hours a week. Sometimes 60 hours a week. But after playing Modern every day, all day, since Modern Horizons 2, this is the first time anyone's ever subtletied my grief. This is not what it's become. So if they mill over Artifact or Sorcery, they could heat the Fury. It won't be the last? Yeah, probably not, but I don't know. Play this Looking Casted Grief next turn. The White Enchantment Lowsfield. Yeah, I like the card. Oh yeah, and then card. Yeah, that is a good home for Karn's. I still know the name of the card. Lily comes on with about 3 main deck and red black and maybe 3 Kroxa. Yeah, something close to that. I think I'll probably start off with like 4 Liliana, and 3 Kroxa. Yeah, so they do have the heat. It looks like, unfortunately. They have 3 cards left. We'll be out of gas. Or hopefully not out of gas. And then I think that I think you can cut the black werewolf, the harvester. Like that card's not bad, but I think that's the card that gets cut. I think there should be Lily and Black Devotion I linked. Maybe. I'm not sure. Would have been really good last turn, but I guess also very good this turn. Puts me, I think, technically ahead in the race. So if I crack this fetch, I get into 18, which means I'm still not dead to a Lightning Bolt plus 2 Murktide attacks. Presumably my opponent just drew a land if they're just going to immediately think about Archmage's Charming to draw 2. Yeah, I don't think this fetching here matters. If the life loss matters because I'm not dead to a Lightning Bolt plus the Murktide attack. Invasive Surgery is for Cascade and Creativity. Alright, 3 cards in their hand, all mystery cards. No red removal spell, they would have played it already. And now, if they draw one, I can Undying my Grief, but they have to main phase it to mess up, then which they shouldn't do. This would be a really exciting game to win. Dead to Murktide, I guess. No, not dead to Murktide. Oh, that was a reason to not fetch, is if they can get just like 2 spells on the yard with Murktide. So I can draw Ragavan or maybe Kroxa or Terminate. Thoughts on Bone Shards versus Pending and Reanimator deck? Bone Shard sucks, Pending's good. Pending answers pieces of Graveyard Hate, Bone Shard answers nothing. And you just don't like, you only have like 4 cards in Reanimator that are good to discard. And so like usually Bone Shard's just gonna be 1 mana card disadvantage, removal spell. Oh, this is also an out. It says Ragavan. Okay, pretty good top deck. I think decks like Mill become worse the more they are known quantity. I don't know if there's any deck like Mill, but Mill does, yeah, for sure. Okay, probably gonna lose. All right, this turns off Ragavan is an out for me. Have some draws. Not very many though. Iteration Fury. Oh. My turn. Boo. So I have to hit like I don't know. I think I'm just dead actually. I think I'm just dead. I haven't revisited the Power Conduit brew yet. Maybe tonight, but I've got a lot of stuff to do tonight. Okay. No, I don't have Bolt in the deck. I'm playing Pushover Bolt because Hammer Time has been really popular. And Blue-White Control has not been very popular. Bone Crusher. Not worse, but it... As far as like mana curve considerations go, Bone Crusher Giant often acts like a 2-mana spell. Where, you know, the meme is kind of real. The red black deck is really clogged in the 3-mana slot, and alleviating some of that tension by... Is this Murktide again? Dude, this has been so much Murktide today, if this is. It is. But alleviating some of that tension by keeping the Murktides in the deck seems fine. I think I'm gonna Fury. Yeah, so this is something I have been thinking like this like last couple games. We kind of saw it last round too, but like Fury just doesn't die. Fury plus the +1 counter, it just doesn't die on turn 2 against Murktide, which makes it a really crazy threat. Okay, so I know that they're drawing counterspells. So what if I just try to Grief and Unholy Heat right now, and just be all in on this Fury? Yeah, awesome. They have a Ragavan, but I've got a 3-turn clock. I was kind of thinking they're just going to hold up the counterspell. I told you keep Fury, cut Grief versus Murktide. Yeah, so like I've been playing like most of my scam decks have been I'm playing like Malakir Rebirth instead of the +1 counter, and like the fact that Fury just dies to Lightning Bolt is when you're on like more Rebirths and like the Sacrifice deck makes it a lot worse. But this has been really good. Yeah, that's true. Lily is really good against Trespasser too. Another good reason to cut it. And if they could find another Unholy Heat, you know, good for them. Exile's Counterspell, unlikely to be super relevant. Cast Ragavan off of the Treasure Token. Presumably going to Chump Block. This deck, this has definitely not been playing like an 18 land deck today. We have been peeling so many lands. Just fine. So they still have that counterspell, one unknown card. Why is Undying Malice better than Undying Evil? Undying Evil doesn't work if the creature already has a +1 counter on it, which with Ledger Shredder you have counters, and then you want to be able to like rebuy an effect like this too. Main phase draw 2, they need to draw a red card that's not Bolt, and they don't. Awesome. Okay, so let me... I was cutting the Furies. I don't want to cut the Griefs, though. I think I still want to cut one Fury, one Undying Effect. Let's have it be the Rebirth, though, this time. Maybe a Ragavan on the draw. One DRC. I mean, on the draw. Dude, people hate Drag Rage's Channeler. I just don't understand. Like, Ragavan just dies so quickly. At least DRC gives you some surveil value the turn you play it. Ragavan gets brickwalled really quickly in this matchup sometimes. I don't know. It's legendary. Against removal heavy matchups for Esper Fear, do you want to side out some combo pieces? You'll have to be like way more specific. Like against 4-color, the most removal heavy deck in the format, you want to keep them all in. Against decks like Grixis Shadow or Murktide, you'll usually go to cut down on time sieves. But you can find a sideboard guide for the deck on Channel Fireball. How do you play against Blood Moon? You can discard them, you can make Ragavan treasures, you can cast your red cards, you can cast your black cards off the swamp, you can lose. Surgery is not for iteration. No, it's for indomitable creativity, living end, crushing footfalls, persist. I hate to bring in surgery against Murktide. I think it's not a good plan at all. Does it feel like a stronger strategy than Rakdos Sack? I know that's always what everybody wants to know, right? This is my first day streaming the deck. I've been playtesting it some. This deck has felt really good. Rakdos Sack has felt really good. Which one's better is very close. Very close. It's also very hard to compare them because they just really are completely different archetypes, you know. Sacrifice is a combo deck. This is a mid-range deck. Just tough. Okay, turn 1 Darcy, Bauble. You can still play one day if we want to. Not in this version with Ledger Shredder, I think. Yeah, I know that it enters untapped, which is nice, but like the fact that we have a creature in our deck that puts counters on itself, I don't think you should play any copies. I think I'm gonna push actually. I can play Channeler with the ability to save it with a Dying Evil next turn. But I agree if you're not playing Ledger Shredder or like any creature that puts counters on itself, it is fine to play an Undying Evil. I need to try to keep that at least. I put it might kill my Channeler and I'll have to lose it. Arcana of Cruelty and Persist in these scam decks. I mean, I've played plenty of Esper Ephemerate Reanimator, and to know that like there's some interesting overlap. I've never tried Persist, Arcana of Cruelty. I think you would have to play Unmarked Grave too. You know, now that you're mentioning it though, I feel like I have seen it. I feel like, I know I just said I haven't seen it. I think I have. I can't remember if I've liked it. Just playing the Reanimator cards in this deck. Has anybody done that? Has anybody played Unmarked Grave, Persist in the Scam Shell? You have some overlap with like Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Season Pyromancer. If you're doing that, why not play white? You could play white too. You could be Mardu. Persist was 1 and 2 in the earliest version of the Scam. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you just want to be more in on it though? Okay, let me try to keep this and get another reroll at a Surveil, a different type into the yard for Delirium. This is a different type for Delirium. Getting a 4/4 Channeler is really cool. Just not dying to not dying to Bolt. One's probably gonna try to steal it though, so I have to counter. Weren't those lists with white and 3x Persist? Yeah, I guess that was kind of similar. Although Rakdos mana is just so Rakdos mana is so good. You can play Blood Moon. Is this a bit? Did I build the deck like that? I mean, I played the Esper version, right? I played a lot of the Esper version. I've played some like I've played some versions of Reanimator similar to that, but not exactly like that version that we're describing right now. Oh, why couldn't I have surveilled that into the yard? Yeah. The stupid Mardu Reanimator deck with only 3 Persist. Ugh, I can't. Why would you remind me of that one? Persist, just like the best card in the deck. Just always played only 3 copies. Biggest pet peeve. Let's keep this on top for the Kroxa, I think. Hopefully they don't have a 1-mana counterspell. Awesome. I played Rakdos Scam Reanimator, felt like normal Scam was more solid. Good to hear, good to hear. Interesting to think about though. They're Merkin? Yeah, the one that was it was 3 Persist and 1 Touch the Spirit Realm. And it's just like this Touch the Spirit Realm is the worst card in your deck by so much. This card is awful every time I see it in action. You only play 3 Persist. Can we please just cut the Touch the Spirit Realm? But nobody ever cut it. Nobody ever cut it. Okay, 6/6 Murktide. 1 card in their hand. Dead 4/4 Channeler. Okay, we can Surveil Kroxa into the graveyard after all. Let's go hand bottom exile. Terminate the Murktide Regent. And if they connive a land into the yard, we'll just Fury now. And if they connive a spell, we can Fury after they block the Channeler. I'll keep that. And so we'll you know, both be top decking, but I'll have Kroxa in the graveyard and Drown in the Loch on top, and they'll have their draw step and their Fiery Islet. Yeah, one of Kolaghan's command in this deck sideboard would be perfect. Cracks the Islet. We drew Murktide. It's a bit unfortunate for us, but we're still doing pretty good here. Especially since we're like very likely to be able to drown this next turn. Because we get a card in the yard with this Kroxa, and then that card's going to the graveyard one way or another, I think, next turn. They don't have... I think their last card's on Holy Heat. They're checking for Delirium. Maybe Lightning Bolt, and they're thinking about like saving 3 life or bolting me. It is Heat. So they're just like... This was 1 mana take 3 damage. What? They just took 3 damage for no reason. Yeah, they also could have delved differently to keep up the Delirium for the Heat, for the Kroxa. They knew the Kroxa was coming. So this was definitely a big mistake for them. Kerbros, 32 months, appreciate ya. Yeah, I think that they maybe they just thought they had Delirium. But this we get the 7th card in their graveyard if they play it or what. Okay, pretty good card, huh? We do get to kill the Murktide. I don't think I want to push really. So they really have to draw another Murktide Regent in order to win this game. They have to draw it right now, obviously. I miss lethal. Oh, just counter the stupid drown. Oh, duh. Yeah, obviously just counter the Heat. Okay, well, one good punt deserves another, huh? Sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. At the end of the stream, I need to eat some lunch. Chaotic 3 months, thank you. Yeah, huge bunt. It's just like, I think like what my brain was doing is I was hyper focused on turning the drown into a removal spell for Murktide. I just forgot what the rest of the card did, I guess. Let's wait. Reed, who's doing some vintage cube. We'll love to watch Reed do some vintage cube.